Hello everybody, today I'm going to be talking about building a terms of service. So whether it's virtual or actual currency an artist is dealing with, there is always a set of ground rules after they post a pricing page. What they draw and what they don't draw is the most common. Then they add what currency they allow, give an estimate on how long the piece will take, what size it will be, etc. Sometimes it's written on a single paragraph, usually on the description of the pricing page. But there are some artists who like to go the extra mile because really the more customers they have and the more varying situations they come across, some artists are making what they call a terms of service. Do you need a terms of service? Well, if you're going to start doing some commissions, this is the perfect video to start. Or if you're already doing commissions and you already have a terms of service, I may have some helpful tips to add on to it. I've been doing commissions on and off for a few years, and when I've built my first terms of service, I had no idea how to go about it. So I used to take bits and pieces from other people's terms of service to build my own. And then from over the years, I've changed the language and improved my own. The great part about these things is that you can change them however you want them when you want them, but make sure you add a date on the top to help keep track of your updates. Well, there you go, your first tip. Now, you already have an idea of what a terms of service is, but let me give you a quick definition. It's a set of rules one must agree on if they want to use the service, to make the buyer aware of what they're getting into before buying your art. Now, before I continue, a terms of service will not protect you 100%. For example, if you state that you give no refunds and you use PayPal for transaction, a customer can file a chargeback for that refund and get their money back. You can dispute those charges, but if you're a digital artist, it's going to be a lot more difficult to win them because your sale is considered not eligible for coverage under PayPal's seller protection program if it involves intangible, non-physical items including digital goods and services. Digital goods are delivered and used in an electronic format like a song delivered online or through a mobile application. Now, I'm not trying to discourage you from using PayPal, but it is very imperative that you research your clients. Check their names and information on buyers beware sites. Talk to other artists who were commissioned by that client before. Now, an artist on Deviantart have contacted PayPal concerning with this issue, and they've responded, if a buyer files a claim for an intangible item, we would need evidence from you to dispute the buyer's claim. Examples of the documentation that you can provide as compelling evidence include, but are not limited to, purchaser's email address to which the goods were delivered, date and time goods were downloaded or received, description of the goods downloaded or received, proof that your website was accessed for services after the transaction date, purchaser's IP address, screenshot showing receipt by the purchaser, correspondence with the purchaser acknowledging receipt of the item and service as described. Now, after reading all of that, I have no idea how to go on about that. So I just go with my gut. And if anything, if I've been scammed by a client, then I would have to put their names on beware. And I do state that on my terms of service. If somebody has committed a chargeback on me, then I will put them on the no order list or the whatever they call it, a blacklist. What do you call these things? Anyways, I put them on the naughty list. I put them on the naughty list and I will no longer offer my services to them. Being a digital artist, I would say that 80% of the time you just have to go with your guts. Very important that you protect yourself and leave a paper trail in case if crap hits the fan. Now, let's go with building a terms of service. First things first, plagiarism is bad, but when it comes to making rules, they don't really make sense to apply. So don't worry about it. You're free to copy and paste my terms of service and use it as your own. Just remember to edit out the details. A terms of service should be 1. Legible. Do not use really small text. 12 points is a good number to start with. And please do not use light text on light background or dark text on dark background. If I had to highlight to read your terms of service, you're making it very inconvenient. I'm looking at some of the pastel artists here who just love to use light pink on light backgrounds. No, I recommend using high contrasting, readable colors like black on yellow or white on dark pink color. 2, make your terms of service serious. I don't want to hear your sob story about how you were scammed by a customer, so you had to add this rule. I don't want to see 15 animated emotes on one paragraph. I don't want to see any form of expression, RAR, XD. Keep it simple, straight to the point. Less is more. If you want to decorate, do it lightly. Animated decorations are fine for a simple header, especially if it has a few frames. If you're selling animated samples, that's fine, but they should be the only ones animated because you want them to be the main focus. Your terms of service does not have to be permanent in writing. It can change whenever you want, however you want. Just state that it is subject to change. And again, I recommend putting a date on top. However, it's not fair to change the terms of service after the customer agreed with it and have completed the transaction. For example, a customer agreed with the terms of service and the price, but you ended up adding a fee because they want some certain details changed into the commission. And this is after they've made their transactions. It's rude to do that, so make sure you double check your terms of service before you send it to the customer. Moving on, a terms of service can be written on any site you choose. Google Docs is a great way to share your terms. Some artists use Deviantart journals, Tumblr, or their own personal website. I recommend having it separated in paragraphs and have an outline to make it easier to refer back to certain parts of the terms of service. Now I've separated my video into 2 parts to make things a little bit easier. So on the next video, I'll show you my own personal terms of service in detail, but I'm still going to have a link to it so you can check it out in the description. So stay tuned for the next video. Laters!